Hi, my name is Sheila Marie McGlown, and I'm a 25-year Air Force veteran. I'm also an 11-year metastatic breast cancer patient. I'm a survivor, a mother, a friend, a wife, and a patient advocate for breast cancer. I was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, HER2 positive, ERPR positive, December 2nd, 2009. I was 43 years old, active duty in the military. Around maybe September, October, I sneezed and I was like, well, that's weird. It started burning, like right in my chest. So I called my doctor on the military base and I said, well, something just doesn't feel right. I said, because every time I sneeze, it burns. So she called me in and she said, well, breast cancer. I said, well, it might could be breast cancer because my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2001, and she died of metastatic breast cancer that has spread to her lungs in 2004. When they did the mammogram, they pulled me into the office, and the radiologist said, "You see all this white stuff in your breast?" And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "That's cancer. That's breast cancer." And what I found out was it had spread to my liver and rib. Every time I sneeze, the cancer would press up on my ribs. And then I'm asking the doctor, like, well, if my mom only lived 3 years with it, how many years do I have, with stage 4 breast cancer? And she said the average is 3 to 5 years. 11 years later, I'm still here. So, because of a fourth progression in my fourth rib, I decided to go on a clinical trial, and I did not know anything about clinical trials, especially when I was first diagnosed. I'm like, well, what's a clinical trial? What does that do? So my doctor, she sat down, and because of the fourth progression, she explained it to me. And yes, I had the fear of, because you have this fear of, well, are they going to use me as a guinea pig? What are they trying to find out? I'm this Black woman, trying to navigate my way into this fourth progression. So they assigned me a clinical trial coordinator, and I asked all kind of questions. And I told her, I said, some of the medical mistreatment that's going on in the Black community, and we need to get over that first. And just we just talked about it. So 3 years later, I have been on a clinical trial, and some myths about it is that no, we're not being used as guinea pigs. It's not a last resort, because it wasn't a last resort for me. So that's why I say it's up to you to advocate for yourself. And it's up to you to ask many questions to your doctors about clinical trials, because clinical trials should be a standard of treatment. Like right when you go in, your doctor should be talking to you about clinical trials, because it's new research. It's research that's saving my life. Metastatic breast cancer is 365 days of the year. It's not just October. This is something that we have to deal with every single day, that we have to, think about every single day. And then when the medicine stops working, sometimes clinical trials are last resort, and sometimes they aren't. The statistics for clinical trials is 5 to 6% of Black women that are on clinical trials. Because when I started my clinical trial, I started phase 2, and I was the only Black person. So that's why I use my platform in any kind of way to talk about clinical trials and to talk about the safety of them. And if you have any questions or anything, I get calls all the time now. Well, Sheila, what's this clinical trial? Because there are many websites that you can go on, like clinicaltrials.gov, but they're so confusing. That's why you need your doctor to be your advocate for you. One thing I want to tell people is that, sometimes I hear that, well, they're giving me a seat at a table. Like, what do you mean you're giving me a seat at a table? I deserve this seat at the table. When I talk about having a seat at the table, I'm talking about not only as a breast cancer advocate, but not only as a Black woman, but as a person who knows what she's talking about, a person who's traveled this personal journey. We deserve this to be there, not I deserve to be there. Other advocates deserve to be there, not because we're Black, but because we know what we're talking about. And you're not doing me a favor by asking me, Sheila, I need you to be there because of this or that. You're doing this because you know that I can bring knowledge and understanding to some of the things that you might not know. What person would understand the Black community better than someone that's Black, that's been there, that continues to advocate in her community, than to ask me or any other Black advocate. Okay, so initially when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I was talking to my best friend and I said, well, I'm gonna make me a bucket list and I wanna do this and I wanna travel. And she was like, no, no. She said, bucket lists are so morbid. I said, no, not really. You know, people do it and they're not sick. And she said, no, she said, make it a diva list. So I said, okay. So now I have my diva list. And one of the things that's on my diva list is to travel to a different country every year. So Monday, I am going with my daughter to Dubai. I've never been. And we're going to just have fun and just enjoy it for a week. And that's been on my diva list. I'm not just alive, I am living. And it's okay to cry, it's okay to feel sad, but just don't stay there. Don't let cancer consume you to the point where you're just, this pity party. And no, have fun, enjoy your life, enjoy the things that are still left, like your kids, your dogs, just continue and make your diva list, whatever you want to do. Just start off with 2 or 3 items. Metastatic breast cancer or breast cancer period is hard, it's a beast, I hate it. And that's why I do what I do, and I think that's what's keeping me alive, is being able to help people. Because I always say breast cancer was not about Sheila. It was about who I can help and who I can love on and hug on and say, hey, girl, we're going to make it. We going to make it. I've lost many, many friends. I've lost my mom to the disease, but, she and my dad have made me the person that I am today.